Time to take a look at what's been grabbing headlines here in the French press. Florence is here. Lots of focus on those crunch talks in Brussels.
That's right. A lot is at play at this European summit. That's what Le Figaro is saying. It's essentially a make or break moment. You have this very awkward photo of a meeting between the British Prime Minister David Cameron and the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk. The EU is facing an unprecedented challenge. Now, L'Opinion, the pro-business paper, agrees. Ça passe ou ça casse. This is a make or break moment, and it analyzes what's actually really happening at this summit. It's pretty theatrical, according to L'Opinion. Essentially, David Cameron is really hoping to find a deal with his European partners to avoid a Brexit, but he has to show public opinion that he's really fighting hard, and so that's why he's playing hard to get at the summit.
Let's bring it back to France, and President François Hollande is bracing for a fight. His government has started unveiling plans to reform France's very complicated labour laws.
That's right. And pro-business paper L'Opinion, once again, is thrilled about these changes. This reform project essentially is going to establish a flexi security system here in France. So you can see they're talking about how Hollande is an 11th-hour reformer. It's pretty incredible that he's going to take on this huge challenge in the lead up to the presidency election, which is in 2017, so not so long away. You can see this cartoon here actually showing Hollande with a stick, a huge bundle of dynamite here. Essentially, he's going to blast the current labor law system. It's an ambitious plan, according to L'Opinion, that is essentially going to make it easier to fire people here in France. It's very complicated to fire people here in France. It'll also make working hours more flexible, so the whole 35-hour work week might be back in question as well. It's also going to encourage workers and employers to find agreements amongst themselves. So it's really going to shake up the current labor law system. And L'Opinion is thrilled about this. It says, finally, there's going to be a change to our complicated system.
But the government has sparked outrage among the left, which it accuses of championing right-wing policies.
That's right. The government's project has sparked a major brouhaha amongst the left.
Good use of brouhaha.
Brouhaha. Now, what's interesting is several left-wing MPs have vowed to block the reform in Parliament. And you can see L'Humanité, the communist paper, is focusing on the labor minister, Myriam El Khomri. Now, she has vowed to use the ultimate trump card. It has a very weird name in France. It's called the 49.3, 49.3. That is actually an article in the French Constitution that allows the government to effectively...
That you know by heart, obviously.
That I know by heart, exactly. It lets the government bypass the parliament if ever it is facing opposition from its majority. And so the labor minister says, you can block this in parliament, I will bypass you as well. And L'Humanité, the communist paper, is outraged. And you can see they've chosen this very particular photo where you can see the labor minister all smiles as she shakes hand with Pierre Guettaz. He is the president of France's leading business union, representative union. Now, Myriam El Khomri certainly is a lightning rod for criticism today. You can see a cartoon of her on the front page of La Nouvelle République, which is a paper based in Tours. And you can see her there trying to jab at the labor law system with this pole here, while the president and the prime minister hide behind a table saying...
It's a hockey stick, actually.
Oh, it's a hockey stick, maybe, or a golf club. Anyway, she's trying to whack it. And you can see the president and the prime minister hiding behind a table saying, you go ahead, Myriam, we're right here behind you.
And let's turn to the Catholic paper La Croix now, and it's got a special investigation on the feeling of injustice here in France.
That's right. Incredible poll in La Croix today. 71% of French people feel that French society is unjust. You can see that on the front page. Injustice is a shared feeling in France. Essentially, there's an overwhelming feeling that some people are paid way too much, and you can see the nitty-gritty of this poll inside La Croix. For instance, sports professionals, athletes essentially, are paid too much. Bankers as well, while other people aren't paid enough, like factory workers and shopkeepers. And La Croix is really alarmed by this and says fighting these growing inequalities should be a priority. It's a threat to our social cohesion. You can see it there in their editorial.
And very quickly, the meteorite that fell from the sky. I didn't see it. I don't know whether you did, but you have more.
I have more. This actually was seen by many French people in southeastern France, and it's all over the regional papers. Let's take a look, first of all, at the front page of La Provence. That is the Marseille-based paper that says, is the sky going to fall on our heads? And there was actually a video of this meteorite that was caught in the Alps. Let's take a look. This video is actually taking place at it's a snow rugby tournament. That is a real sport. And there you can see it right in the background. You can see that meteorite falling from the sky right there.
Very faintly.
That's right, very faintly. But it impressed a lot of people. Varmetin talks about the celestial mystery. What was this ball of flames? Well, Varmetin says it was just a harmless fragment entering our atmosphere, so don't worry too much. And it was quite beautiful, it must be said.
Very beautiful. Thanks, Florence, for that update.